car slow. We got car keys.
Yep.
A triple check. Yeah. Maybe. Stay in here. Try and close it. The feeling of success, of the satisfying, yes, I did it, I reached the goal, I did it, I did that.
Here at Northeast Mountaineering, we do run trips out west in the Cascades, like Glacier and just the summiting, the big peaks, the 14,000 footers out there. But most of our work is based around Mount Washington.
My name's MOA Documentary, and I work for Northeast Mountaineering here in New Hampshire, North Conway. And I am the only female guide who works for Northeast Mountaineering. I'm also a ski patroller here in the valley, and I'm also in a band. And then EMT.
Car slow. We got car keys.
Yep.
A presidential traverse is a about 20-mile hike that goes across the presidential range up here in the White Mountains. And there's like two schools of thoughts about it. There's one where it's just a traverse, like you don't have to bag the peaks, and you can do it in a few days. And there's another school where it's like you do all the peaks, like all the little summits along the way, and you try and do it as fast as you can. What we're doing is that, like, we just want to get across, have fun, and if we get some summits, that's great. We've got great views today. Sky's blue, and it's a pretty classic hike around here. It's like a test of fitness because it's hard, it's long. First day's a little bit shorter usually. You can do it in like honestly 4 days if you want to.
Get up here quick, snack, quick water, and then we'll go to the summit on Mount Adams.
Awesome. Or summit on Madison.
How I view guiding is really, if someone's hiring me, they're not hiring me to get them to the top of the mountain. They're hiring me to get us down safely, to get us home at the end of the day. You're also, as a guide, emotionally invested in your clients, and you always want to give them a great experience, and you do want to summit. Like, you do want to reach whatever goal the client has. You do want to ensure that they get there or even exceed it if you can. But it's also the sort of thing where I always go in and I talk to the clients and I'm like, hey, my goal today is to get us home safely. So if I have to make the hard decision to call it, to like stop and say, hey, we gotta go home, this is not safe, then that's what I'm gonna do.
So we're going to be hiking on that staircase, a rock staircase that
To do it safely. We're on the summit of Mount Madison right now, but it feels good. I love it. And look at the view. It's just opening up behind you. That's Mount Washington right there.
My mom and dad just generally were very supportive of all of my siblings. It's me and two brothers, and I think they didn't actually emphasize it. They just treated us all equally and were like, yeah, Mo, I want to do this. Sure, go for it. And mom is a pretty strong, independent woman, so I think just having that as a role model in general created an environment where I felt like I could do anything. Well, back in the day, like climbing has always been a male-dominated sport, and like mountaineering, skiing, especially extreme skiing, like anything like really out there. And I think there's just been very little representation, especially in like older ski movies and stuff like that. And then for women to get out and doing all of those things, there's a lot of obstacle to jump across, not only prejudice against women and like getting past like obstacles of women are weaker than men and stuff like that, just genetically and cultural things. There's also like the economics of it, because women make less money than men and thus maybe does not want to spend $500 on a pair of ice tools. I also consider myself very lucky because all of my coworkers here, the other guides, have been very welcoming.
I think we worked together 3 times, and she was the lead guide all 3 times. And I would say more often than not, the clients would ask me the question rather than asking the lead guide the question, which is what normally happens, you know. The clients ask the lead guide the question, but I found them asking me the question, and then I would just ask her, and then she would give the answer. That didn't happen when I worked with Corey, right?
Hello, hello.
Good morning.
Welcome to the bunkhouse. But we want to start with some harnesses before we do anything. Okay, cool. It's gonna be a little chilly up there. Looking like low winds, but definitely want to bring warm layers. Come on and try one on. Have you worn a harness before? And try to pull it back down over your hips. Can you pull it back down over your butt and hips? A little bit, and then we want to tighten it a little bit. Wow.
Okay.
Today we're out in Pinkham Notch for some rock climbing for a birthday party. It's a bigger group. We're gonna go to Square Ledge, which is a super cool, beautiful climbing area overlooking Mount Washington.
The actual teaching you get to do, because when it's a presidential traverse, it's not that sort of technical teaching ability you use. It's more just leading the way and ensuring that everyone is comfortable and everyone's good, and making that sort of decisions.
I love ice climbing. I don't know if we can see them, but I've got these bad boys. My ice pick tattoos. I got 2, but I'm not gonna pull the other one out. Yeah, I like ice climbing. It's my favorite sport. And it's just super fun. It's a tough thing to guide in a lot of ways, because it's so cold and you have to be pretty weather resistant. But it's so fun, you get to smash ice. And it's a really cool thing, because you're climbing something that isn't there for the most part of the year.
I was born in Sweden. I got my mother to send me some cute pictures of me skiing in Sweden when I was little. So this one right here is, I don't know exactly where this picture is taken. I remember this jump very well. I would jump it every day. Should be said, I'm not very good at jumping with skis on my feet, but I was enthusiastic when I was little. And it's at Lofsdalen in Sweden, and that's where I grew up skiing. And this is cool, because I never realized how similar looking the mountain is, because this is the absolute summit. This is the like button chair lift that takes you up, and I don't know if you can notice, but it's very, very icy. Sweden's actually pretty flat. We do have our mountains, but they're very smooth. They're very old, just like here in the northeast. So it's super fun. To realize this looking back, it's like, oh, it's actually very similar to where I live right now. So that's really funny that I ended up here. My usual like comparison is that Sweden is like a tamer version of us. This is like way more dense forest, way more rocks than where I grew up. So where I grew up, it's like very open forests. This is definitely more wild and more intense. Like in a way, I love it more because of it. And because it's new and because it's not where I grew up, it's like wonderful and exciting every time. Eventually, as time went by, I finished school, went traveling, went to Canada, tried climbing for the first time, met my now husband, then partner, and then somewhere in there I sort of realized that I love the outdoor industry and that, oh, you can have a career taking people out and doing what I love and showing them why I love the outdoors and why we should protect it and why it's such a wonderful place. I ended up applying for an internship here at Northeast Mountaineering. I knew it's a male-dominated field, so I was very curious if there was like any active women. And Corey, the owner, was like, no, sadly not, but he was also very like open that the valley doesn't have that many female guides, but he also, as just a person, like is very encouraging of bringing a more diverse crew in.
I'm Kelsey. I work for Cathedral Mountain Guides in North Conway, New Hampshire, and I am one of 2 currently female guides. It makes you feel like you have to prove your place sometimes, or just be extra on top of it in order to, you know, perceivably like level up or whatever.
Definitely feel like I have something to like prove, and that like I have to prove that I'm like a little bit as tough as the male guides in a way.
Gear is a big part of the industry being accessible to other people, and I have female guiding friends who want to guide on Denali but can't find boots that are small enough to fit their like, you know, tiny feet. Just like all these things that like if we made it, more people would be able to be included because they would feel more comfortable and be able to perform at the same ability as like other people who have gear that fits. The American Mountain Guide Association and other organizations are making it more accessible for women to get into the higher tiers of guiding. So that if there's more women at the top to mentor and teach, then there's going to be a trickle-down effect. Yeah, I feel like there's a shift a little bit culturally from women being competitive with each other to women wanting to support and elevate each other, so that there's a greater community and network of women just like all progressing at the same level. It's not like there's room for all of us at the top. There's not room for just one. You know, you don't have to be the token female on a guiding service. You don't have to be like, it would be cool if there was like a full community of us and like it wasn't such a rare thing.
So it's really like pushing to have our faces be out there and then just, showing the world that we exist.
So right now we're just having a guide party. It's kind of like a pre-season party. MOA organized the whole thing for us. It's a very male-dominant field. It's kind of like a never-ending process of like trying to promote that and build female guides up and support them, because we need more of them in the Northeast for sure.
They just double up.
Yeah.
Same fucking sound, guys.
I've definitely had a few experiences where I've been called in a quite patronizing way, like, babe, which was very inappropriate, and I did let them know, or like, honey, and like stuff like that, which was not appropriate, and like my male colleagues have definitely never been called stuff like that. Yeah, representation matters a lot, and I think I've realized that with doing this and like thinking about it, like why, and I think it's just like we need to, like me, ask one, be like out there and make sure to talk about it and like show that, yeah, we can do it too.
I do this because it gives me great joy and pleasure taking people out and showing them why I love the outdoors and the world and why we should take care of it and why it's just an incredible just luxury to have this in our back door and to have it in the world, and it just makes me happy.